All right, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off this lesson by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, Dash. Double honors unto my elders and apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well, the men that taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the elect as always. All right, and the title, Lord's will be the time of unrighteous decrees and chaos, which, recent events in the news inspired this lesson, and also just prophecy, I was listening to some of the elders' videos, Elder Amawon Gabar, and, about, he had brought out the snippet on Gray State, how, it's like the lesser luminaries were, with their false prophets were bringing out, they never actually released the movie Gray State, but in the trailer, it was basically ICE in Minneapolis, like exactly what's going on right now, and, it's actually, amazing to see prophecy playing out before our eyes. All right. And he was also, the elder was touching on also the price of gold skyrocketing right now. It's very expensive. It's really high right now, and it's moving up quick. And and especially all the different let me check if my microphone is on. I don't want to record this with no audio. Okay, but so not just that, that's also a part of prophecy as well, but also there's a lot of insurrection going on. There's going to be more. There's going to be lots of chaos, a lot of unrighteous decrees. Soon, ICE will be given immunity if they haven't already got it, as of the time of this recording. Also, I was reading an article that I had shared with brothers about how in Virginia they're trying to pass a law to basically make it more gun restricted than California. It's actually going to be worse than California and Virginia if they pass it. And the reason why that matters is because, for those that don't know, Virginia is a pro-Second Amendment state. The gun culture is big in Virginia. So if they pass that law and outlaw everything, the majority of Virginia will become felons overnight, and it will do nothing but cause an insurrection. It could cause a divide. It could cause a war. It already is causing a divide, and it can cause uprisings. It could cause violence, to hit the streets, and the scriptures speak about these things, how they will destroy each other, how these people will destroy each other with the sword, destroy their houses with the sword, and for the lack of bread and all these different things. All these things play a part into the prophecy, because Esau is, by his unrighteous decrees, is causing chaos, So I'm going to start off in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 2, and it says, "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it," which the vision is talking about the prophecies, right? "For the vision or the prophecy is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." And right now it's speaking loud and clear. Esau, especially here in America, Esau is not bringing no type of prosperity. He is showing his horns, and he's trying to do nothing but take full and total control. ICE is just, like the elder Amawon Gabar said in his lesson, in one of his most recent lessons, ICE really is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's the spirit, man, because brothers know ICE is nothing more than a shadow of things to come, because soon they're not going to be looking for only illegals, as they say, right? They're going to be looking for all Israelites, And even Edomites have enough common sense to say, if they could do this to people who are not even illegal because they get bunched up in it, what makes you think they won't be able to do it to the average citizen? See, that's the thing. People are not looking at it like that. They're looking at it like, well, I'm not an illegal, so I got nothing to worry about. No, the truth and reality is Esau is a demon, and he wants to hem everybody up. He wants us to, kill off a lot of people, and see-hip everybody. All right, he wants to control. The elites look at the people as cattle. They really think that they're God. They think they're the Most High. And that's all a part of the vision. That's all a part of the prophecies that the Lord told us about. He told us that Esau will come down with great wrath. He told us that the enemy would come in like a flood. He told us these things. He told us that martial law would be enacted. He didn't use the word martial law, but Yahweh Shai most definitely told us about martial law in 2nd Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 16, especially, Jeremiah 30, all right? He forewarned us of the trouble to come, Those are the prophecies. It says, what? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, and it's not tarrying right now. Every day it's something new. 2026 started off with a bang. They killed America's sweetheart right before it. I think it was either right before it or the day after. But, a blonde Edomite woman was gunned down. Fully legal. It was wiped away as a self-defense shooting. The Edomites that are the Edomite YouTubers that are pro Second Amendment hopped on there and reviewed the footage and said, yeah, this was fully legal. You were interfering with a federal agent and you put their life in, you know what I mean? With their media, they use their lower tier false prophets to say certain things. This is the world that we're living in, man. We're living in a world where Esau is going crazy, and it's not even all the way turned up yet. This is only the beginning. Ice, like the elder said, man, ice is just the tip of the iceberg. Very true, man. It's just a shadow of things to come. It's just the beginning. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Exactly. So this man is wicked. This is talking about Esau right here. His soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. He's all the way lifted. He's pride. His pride got him all the way up. Right? It says, but the just shall live by his faith. And that's talking about the elect. The elect's going to live by their faith. Especially in the times to come. This all applies, man. During the times to come, the elect is going to live by their faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi. Because Esau is going to come down with great wrath because he knows that he hath but a short time, like it says in Revelation 12:12. All right. Verse 5, Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, which is his philosophies, his unrighteous decrees is a part of that. One thing about Esau, he's all about the disorder. But he likes to make it seem like he's organized. Look, Esau, one unrighteous decree, and the reason I call it unrighteous is because of the type of rift it will cause. At the end of the day, it's his kingdom. He can do whatever he wants, right? But for what's the word? I don't know the exact people that are trying to pass this bill in Virginia. But for you to make a decision like that, because gun violence in Virginia is obviously, it's a thing everywhere in America. But with how much freedom there is in the state of Virginia for people to own firearms, especially in Northern Virginia, the crime rate is very low. There's not a lot of murders that happen here. So for them to try to even think, let's just make a gun control law. It's like, wait, you're not doing this because you care about the safety. You're doing this because you want to cause chaos in a state where the majority of the people are armed. There's a lot of people that live in Virginia that are ex-military or that are law enforcement. Everybody knows. Everybody moves to the DMV area to work in the government, to be or you're in the military or some type of law enforcement because you want to be FBI, CIA. You got to move here. You got to do your training. You know what I mean? So the majority of Northern Virginia and Virginia in general is an armed society. So for you to try to pass a law like that, would cause chaos. There's no other reason. There's not no mass shootings going on in Virginia like that for them to just be like, oh yeah, we need to pass a law to keep the people safe. So for you to come up with that, it's like, no, you don't want safety. You want to cause division and chaos and a civil war. That's what they truly want, right? So it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right? Esau is the biggest proud man, right? And he doesn't keep at home. That's why his military spread thin. He's all over the place, right? It says, and I didn't want to, ramble on too much about that recent bill that they're trying to pass in Virginia. The reason why I brought it up is because of the title being Unrighteous Decrees, and that's actually something that my one of my coworkers just told me about. And he's panicking, and I'm like, I don't, I'm not too worried about it. I don't care. The Lord got us anyway. The Lord gonna be with us anyway. We ain't worried about no firearms like that, right? But however, it can cause a big issue. It will cause a big issue if they pass it, right? So it says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, which is exactly what he wants to do, man. He wants to see hip everybody, and you worship him. He wants you to look at him as God, all right? He wants you to think that he is God, and he wants you to worship him. All right, so Isaiah 10:1, and those different philosophies, man, a part of his philosophy is you worshiping him and becoming one in his beast system. All right. What's the term brothers use? It's not biometrics. I was thinking the word biometrics, but basically, fusing man with machine. I forgot the exact word, but the wording brothers use for that. But nonetheless, he wants to merge man with machine. He wants you to be that machine. He wants you to. That's why he wants you to be C-hip, so he can control you like a robot. So that's his end goal. He wants to put that C-hip, the charagma in you, so that he can control you and fully control everybody. But that's not going to happen according to prophecy, right? Isaiah 10:1, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So this man is going to pass different legislations. This ties into a lot. And forget about gun control. That's minimum. Esau could do that overnight if he really wanted to. He could send the military. Obviously, it's going to cause a war because the majority of America has firearms. But that's just one of those things that Esau could do if he really wanted to. He could do that. But what's another thing, man? Making free speech illegal. Everything is to take away the freedom, the so-called freedom that people have in America. And that's what's going to cause a rift, because there's people right now that trust in America and trust in the shadow of Egypt that are going to fight for their freedom of speech, like physically fight, and they fight for the Second Amendment, right? The First Amendment, Second Amendment. These are the different things that Edomites believe in and that some of our people believe in. So when Esau starts to take these things away, he's going to be met with a level of resistance. Okay, and that level of resistance is going to be people literally in the streets killing, fighting against Esau and his military and the police, and you know what I mean? It's going to be a big mess. That's why I titled it what I titled it, Unrighteous Decrees and Chaos, because it's exactly what this man is going to cause with the things that he wants to do. So it says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Right? So that's exactly what they do. They don't write decrees to benefit anybody but themselves. They do these things to control the people, to oppress the people. They don't ever do anything to actually help anybody. Esau doesn't even, as of recent, Esau hasn't even been doing anything to help himself. I remember people were so happy about the no tax on overtime. It's tax season now, and it's not looking like anybody's going to get anything. Well, it's not tax season just yet, but, we getting there. And it don't really look like anybody, nobody's even really talking about it. It's like, what happened to the whole no tax on overtime? Esau is a demon, man. He's just out here for himself. He's out here to just kill even his own people and lock this whole thing down and fully establish his NWO. That's his end goal, is the NWO, to establish the New World Order and to have a total control, all right? And it's not going to happen according to prophecy, man, all right? So this is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Right? That's exactly what they do. The throne of iniquity, Esau is the demon. Applying it to Esau, he is the demon. He is the throne of iniquity. He's all about adding sin unto sin. He is not about being righteous. He's not about Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. He's the complete opposite of what the Lord wants. Okay? So, what he's going to do is pass unrighteous decrees, take away the rights, like I read in Isaiah. I said Psalm in Isaiah 10, to take away the right from the poor of my people. All he's doing is making it. He's going to make it harder for us to go out and teach, which is fine. That's according to prophecy as well. Famine of the word. That's fine. But he's also going to cause certain decrees to where he's basically going to make it illegal for you to be an Israelite. It kind of already is in a way. You can't actually claim to be an Israelite. That's damn near unspoken of in Esau society, right? Everybody knows who the true Israelites are nowadays. And it's pretty common knowledge to know if you're an Israelite or not, right? But for the most part, man, people don't really, that's not really a thing that everybody talks about openly like that, right? But what? Esau is going to have all these different unrighteous decrees to justify coming down and trying to grab the prophets. Because really everything he's doing is aimed towards anybody that's a threat to his New World Order. And he knows that the biggest threat is the Israelites. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is the biggest threat to his New World Order, because there's no one else that's opposing it. He's not worried about the gravy seals, for brothers that know what I'm talking about. He's not worried about those anti-Trumpers that are like, just say the word and we'll go to war. Like those overweight Edomites that is like, yo, Trump, just say the word and we'll go to war. You're not going to war, fat ass. You know, these Gravy SEAL dudes, they're not, Esau is not worried about them. The military is not worried about the Gravy SEALs. They're not worried about the Doomsday Preppers. None of that. The elites know that the only true threat to this society and to their kingdom is Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? They know that. They're not worried about your bug out bag. They could care less. You know, they're worried about the man that came out of the sea. In 2nd Esdras 3, they worried about Yahweh Shai cracking the clouds. All right? They not worried about you peon Edomites with your ARs. He could care less about that, but your pea shooters. You know? He's worried about the prophets. See, the elites know what the real threat is. You know? They gather them, verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. How are they going to do that? By framing that mischief by law. Oh, it's illegal to preach the Bible now. All right, well, we have documents on us, man, that we've been teaching for years. The elders, beginning with the elders and apostles on down. Video evidence is right there. When it's illegal to talk about these things, you know, they gonna bring the hammer down. When it's illegal to make videos against the JOOs, they gonna come down and some of us will be prosecuted. It's gonna be illegal soon to talk about them. You can actually be brought up on charges. Okay? That's also a part of his unrighteous decrees. It says, bet the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai is my defense and my power is the rock of my refuge. Right? At the end of the 24, Yahweh Shai is going to be with us through the chaos and through the unrighteous decrees. So we got nothing to worry about. But just be on the lookout, right? Because the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? We should be walking circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, the scriptures say. Because what? The days are evil. Unrighteous decrees here and there. All right? So we have to be mindful of these things, man. You know? I brought out two examples, man. ICE given full immunity if they haven't got it already, as of this recording. And if they pass that bill in Virginia, they're going to be met with resistance. Because if brothers don't know, Virginia still has the headquarters for the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association. It still is, it's unspoken, it's not documented, but the headquarters of the Klan is still here in Virginia. In Northern Virginia at that. It's not even like down in the boonies. You know? The Klan is still heavy out here. You just don't know who they are. They're more secretive now. You know? They're not as dumb as those guys in Ohio where they actually went out to protest. No. These guys is secretive out here. And I know because I grew up here. I grew up in Virginia. I know that the Klan, I know who's Klan and who's not. I can tell, man. You know, it ain't hard to tell, especially when you join certain workforces. You know, they all over the blue-collar world. So, as somebody who grew up in VA, I know Klan is still here. You know? I can spot them out a mile away, man. I grew up knowing who them damn Edomites. I hate them Edomites. You know? So, for them to do things like that, they're going to be met with a level of resistance if it comes to pass. All right? And chaos will ensue, man. Because soon they're going to try to do that everywhere. Who knows? There may not be resistance here, and they actually bring it to pass, and they get away with it. And then they're going to move on to Tennessee, and to North and South Carolina. And eventually they're going to beat that one state that's going to be like, F it, let's go to war. You know? It'll get like that, man. Because what? It's a part of prophecy. You know, read 2nd Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 16. But nonetheless, that's all I wanted to bring out real quick through the Spirit, man. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to my elders and my apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the electors. Always, Shalom.